If you're a bloke over 65 and you've got health questions you've been too embarrassed to ask, I need you to listen up. What I'm about to share with you today could completely change how you think about your well-being in these golden years. Just 2 weeks ago, a patient I'll call Frank walked into my clinic. He'd been pacing around the waiting room for nearly half an hour before he finally sat down across from me. With a shaky voice, he said, "Doc, I'm 72 years old, and there's something I need to ask you, but I'm bloody embarrassed." When he finally worked up the courage to ask his question, I knew straight away that I had to share this information with more men like you. I'm Dr. Zoe Mitchell, and after more than 20 years treating men in their golden years, I've heard this same question whispered with shame hundreds of times. Today, that silence ends. Frank's question was simple but profound. "Doc, at my age, is it still normal to, well, you know, have those private moments with myself?" And there's the problem. Right there. We've created a culture where talking about masturbation after 65 is practically taboo. But let me tell you something that's going to surprise you. Not only is it normal, but modern science tells us it could be one of the most powerful tools for maintaining your health. Yeah, you heard that right. That practice nobody talks about could be protecting you from prostate cancer, improving your heart, and strengthening your mind. But here's what's really important. As Frank sat there looking at me with those eyes full of doubt, I knew I had to explain everything. The benefits, yes, but also the risks, because like everything in medicine, it's not black and white. Look, when we talk about male sexual health after 65, we're talking about much more than pleasure. We're talking about survival with quality of life. Imagine your body as this amazing machine that's been running for more than 6 decades. Like any machine, it needs maintenance. And one of the most important and least discussed types of maintenance has to do with your sexual health. Another patient, I'll call him Bob, explained it perfectly to me. "Doc, it's like having a classic car," he said. "If you don't start it up every now and then, it rusts from the inside." And he was absolutely right. What I discovered next was even more revealing. At Harvard University, they conducted a study that followed more than 30,000 men for decades. The results were bloody compelling. Those who maintained regular sexual activity, including masturbation, had up to 33% less risk of developing prostate cancer. 33%! That's not a small difference, mate. That's the difference between living with fear or living with confidence. While I was explaining this to another patient, he interrupted me. "But Doc, I thought that was bad for the prostate." And there's the problem. What our grandfathers believed, based on religious or cultural myths, modern science has completely debunked. When you ejaculate, your prostate cleans itself out. It's like running water through a pipe. If you never use it, sediments build up, substances that can become cancerous. But when you maintain that regular flow, you're literally washing your system from the inside. Now, I reckon you're wondering, what are the specific benefits? That's exactly the conversation we're going to have now, because there are at least 10 scientifically proven benefits you need to know about. First, and this is fundamental, it improves the nutrition and health of your penis. I know it might sound strange, but think of it like a garden. If you don't water the plants, they wither. Every time you have an erection, oxygen-rich blood floods the internal tissues. The corpora cavernosa fill with nutrients. It's literally a health bath for your most intimate organ. Without this regular irrigation, the tissues become rigid, lose sensitivity, and over time, erectile function deteriorates. Second benefit is even more impactful. It's a direct ally for your prostate. That Harvard study I mentioned followed men from age 40 to 80. They found that those who ejaculated 21 times or more per month had significantly lower risk of prostate cancer. Now, I know what you're thinking. 21 times sounds like a lot, right? That's about 5 times a week. And look, that's an average from the study, not a bloody requirement. Even if you're doing it 2 or 3 times a week, you're still getting protective benefits. The key is regularity, not breaking records. The theory is simple but powerful. Ejaculation cleans the prostatic ducts, eliminates potential carcinogens, and prevents toxic substances from building up. One of my patients said something I'll never forget. "Doc, so all these years of abstinence out of shame could have hurt me?" The answer? Yes. Mate, silence and shame can be more dangerous than any disease. The third benefit surprises all my patients. It strengthens your pelvic floor. Those muscles you might not even know you have are crucial for your quality of life. They support your bladder, your bowel, and control urinary continence. With each orgasm, these muscles contract rhythmically. It's like doing Kegel exercises, but in a natural and pleasurable way. I remember a bloke named Charlie, 72 years old. After his prostate operation, he suffered from post-void dribbling, those annoying drops that stain your underwear. When he started maintaining regular sexual activity combined with specific exercises, the improvement was dramatic. Within 2 months, he told me, "Doc, I don't need the protective pads anymore. I've got control back." And not just that, his confidence returned. He stopped avoiding social outings for fear of accidents. Fourth benefit has to do with your heart and blood pressure. It's a natural stress reliever, and I'm not talking cheap philosophy here. I'm talking pure biochemistry. When you reach orgasm, your body drastically reduces cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone that inflames your arteries, elevates your pressure, and keeps you in a constant state of alert. I had a patient whose wife had passed away 3 years earlier. The stress was killing him. He couldn't sleep. His blood pressure was through the roof. When he finally overcame the shame and resumed his sexual life, including intimate moments with himself, the changes were remarkable. His pressure came down. He started sleeping better. He told me something beautiful. "I feel like I'm honoring my wife's memory by taking care of my health. You see? It's not just about sex. It never was just about sex. It's about comprehensive health, quality of life, dignity in aging." Fifth benefit is absolutely marvelous. Your brain becomes a natural pharmacy. With each orgasm, a cocktail of substances is released that no laboratory can match. Dopamine, the pleasure and motivation molecule. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone that makes us feel connected and peaceful. Endorphins, those natural painkillers more potent than morphine. Serotonin, the antidepressant your body produces. All of this floods your brain, creating that deep sense of well-being. Sixth benefit is a prevention tool that could save your life. Regular masturbation is a form of medical self-examination. Every time you touch yourself, you're doing a checkup. How's the sensitivity? Any strange lumps on the testicles? Pain during erection? Changes in shape or texture? 6 months ago, one of my patients detected a small lump on his right testicle during one of these intimate moments. He came to see me immediately. It was a tumor in very early stage. We operated in time, and today he's completely healthy. He told me, "Doc, if I'd kept on being ashamed to touch myself, I might not be here to tell the story." And it's true. Knowing yourself can be the difference between life and death. Seventh benefit is one all my older patients appreciate especially. It promotes more restorative sleep. If you're like most blokes your age, insomnia is probably a frequent visitor. You lie down exhausted, but your mind won't stop. You toss and turn, get up to the loo 3 times, and the next day you're knackered. Well, here's a natural and pleasurable solution. Orgasm releases prolactin, that hormone that induces deep drowsiness. At the same time, it reduces cortisol, allowing your mind to relax. It's like flipping off a worry switch. Eighth benefit has to do with something we lose over the years, the connection with our own body. As we age, we start seeing our body as an enemy, a source of aches, limitations, frustrations. Conscious masturbation is a way of making peace with that body. It's an act of self-love, acceptance, celebration that after so many years, it's still capable of giving you pleasure. Ninth benefit is especially important for those who have a partner. It helps you understand and control your sexual responses. Many men suffer from premature or delayed ejaculation without knowing why. Masturbation offers a private laboratory to experiment, Learn your rhythm. Discover what stimulates you. Practice control techniques. 10th benefit is perhaps the most profound. It keeps the pathways of desire alive. Your brain, not your penis, is your main sexual organ. Desire is born in the mind, in memories, fantasies, neural connections. If you stop using these circuits, they atrophy. It's like a path in the bush. If nobody walks it, the scrub covers it over. But when you maintain regular sexual activity, including masturbation, you're keeping that path clear. The neurons keep connecting. Libido stays active. Now look, everything I've told you is backed by decades of research, thousands of studies, millions of men who've proven these benefits firsthand. But as your doctor, I have to be completely transparent. None of this replaces your regular medical checkups. If you're over 50, the PSA exam is mandatory. Early detection saves lives. But here's the critical thing, and I need you to hear this clearly. While there are wonderful benefits, there are also risks you need to know about. Incorrect ways of doing this that can cause harm, addictions that can develop, warning signs you shouldn't ignore. That's why I've prepared a follow-up video where I explain the 10 most common mistakes and risks. Trust me, ignoring these risks could turn something beneficial into something harmful. I've seen cases of blokes who, through lack of information, injured themselves, developed dependencies, or ignored important symptoms, thinking they were normal. You deserve to have all the information, the benefits and the risks, the bright side and the necessary precautions. Frank, that patient I mentioned at the start, walked out of my clinic a new man. Not because I prescribed expensive medications, but because I gave him permission to be human, to take care of himself without shame, to understand that pleasure and health go hand in hand, especially at this stage of life. The choice is yours, mate. Are you going to keep carrying decades of myths and shame? Or are you going to embrace modern science? Are you going to keep whispering questions with fear? Or take control of your sexual health? Your body's been your faithful companion for more than 6 decades. It deserves your care, your attention, your celebration. This knowledge I've shared today could be the most valuable gift you give yourself. The key to healthier, fuller, happier golden years. But remember, knowledge without action is just entertainment. Take what you've learned today and use it. Talk to your doctor if you've got doubts. Explore your body without guilt. And above all, don't forget to watch the video about the risks, because taking care of yourself properly means knowing the complete picture. I'm Dr. Zoe Mitchell, and it's been an honor having this honest conversation with you. Because your health, your well-being, your happiness in these golden years, that matters. It matters a lot, and you deserve to live them with fullness, without shame, with information, and above all, with the dignity you've earned after a lifetime.